Great to have your company, and here joining me in commentary is Donnie Hess. Good afternoon, Donnie.
How are we doing, Brian?
It's another day in paradise, my friend. It's always good to be calling footy. You're based in Des Moines. I don't know that you're too familiar with either of these teams, but with Ohio Valley, you know, I think a little bit being in the Central Region.
A little bit. We play them occasionally. We've had them a couple of times at Nationals that I've been there, and they're always a tough team. They're a group of older guys that just play the game so long that they're always a tough group to play.
They have 5 Division IV national championships under their belt, and they made the Division III Grand Final, losing to the Philadelphia Hawks on Sunday after going through a 3-0 tournament. But we'll see how they do today. Meanwhile, as we mentioned, a lot of the seconds here for Baltimore, for Quebec, and for the New York Magpies, as they have a couple of their older gentlemen there, Troy Danilo, as well as Sean Holmesby, who is heading back home to Australia after this game. The umpire holds the ball aloft. The River Rats, are as we mentioned, combined with the Hawks. They're in the white jumpers with the blue socks, and they're heading from left to right. Baltimore is in the black with the orange jumpers. We're underway, and kicking that one forward is the 37 for Baltimore, sending that one in. It gets away, and the 3 Rats are there, falling up over the top and controlling it. Looks for a handball, couldn't get to it. Ball goes to ground, skitters free, and well, we had a couple of the Hawks players. That's Ryan Marshall, who sends that one up on the far side. Overrunning that one was the 28. That's John Mcpike. Mcpike stayed with the football, but turns it over. Here comes Baltimore, sending that one through. Lining that one up is the 16. Goes off the side of the boot, but right there, he found a target in the 51. That's a couple of the guys from Quebec we don't have numbers for, and that shows you how fast things can change in just an instant there, Donnie.
Yeah, just really quickly, but a really good ball movement, and then kind of a lucky bounce on the kick.
And they convert, and that's our first score of the game. It goes to the Baltimore Dockers combination. They go to 1 straight 6 on the Cooper's scoreboard. Ohio Valley, no score.
Just a really interesting play there, because it looked like he was almost trying to go for goal and just happened to have a full forward just happened to be there, and look what I found. Happy birthday, and nice easy goal there. So.
Yeah, you never look a gift horse in the mouth, and you don't like to look a gift footy in the mouth, because they generally don't tend to have mouths.
No.
As it turns out. As the ball comes back into the middle once again after a goal, it comes back into the middle of the ground. The umpire tosses the ball to the heavens, and away we go again. And the ruck, big ruck in there, Darren Henderson, who's in there. Usually it's his teammate Jason Pony Wilhelm who's in the ruck. I think Pony's playing in the forward line. Yeah, there he is, number 14. He isn't in on that occasion, but he's going to be in just a second. Little handball around. Ball gets knocked down, picked up there by Derek Shotwell. And he handballs it off, and here is Wilhelm, and Jason Wilhelm, easy as you like, he runs in, and the big man from Cleveland, Ohio, has equilibrated the score on the Cooper scoreboard. Ohio Valley 1 straight 6, Baltimore 1 straight 6, and here's a guy in Jason Wilhelm who's played on 2 national teams. His height and athleticism is a bit of a game changer.
Yeah, just really smart footy sense there. He sat back, waited on the pack, and just happened to do a scream run and happened to get the handball, and nice, easy, another happy birthday moment there with a nice, easy goal kick. So.
He's exactly 1 day younger than my brother, if you could believe it. That means nothing to nobody but me, but I figured you would all like to know.
Hey, you got to find a way to get yourself in there, right?
Yeah, well, that's usually how it works. Ball goes back in the middle of the ground. 6-6 the score. It's Ohio Valley 6, Baltimore 6, as the ball goes back into the middle of the ground. That one is kicked off. That one goes up high. Again, Ohio Valley 6, Baltimore 6. And again, that's Scott Strensky going after the football. Now here's Tyler Sassy, and send that one in forward. Again, going after it are the River Rats. That one is poked in off the ground, but through 4 behind for 1 point. Ohio Valley 7, Baltimore 6, and a good goal mount scramble there. And sometimes, you know, you're okay with taking a point because at least it gives you a chance to reset.
Yeah, and it continues your pressure. The only thing, though, is it does give the chance for the other team to push the ball down the field. But, hey, have a poke and see if it goes through.
Out to the near side, they find the number 1 there, who's unlisted. Again, we have no numbers on the Quebec guys or the New York guys on this side, but we do have one from Mark Solansky, who comes out to take the mark. Ball goes to ground, and over to get it now as they try to, well, they're trying to do something with the football, and something at least that's somewhat productive. Keeping vigil there again was Darren Henderson, 50 years old, and a man from Western Australia, playing He's been around this club a long time, this Arizona Hawks club, founded in 1999. Ball goes back in the air once again, slapping that one forward again, the 37 for Baltimore. Little shovel handball in, and everybody up over the top, everyone down mushroom farming. Find me a good one, fellas, and we'll have a ball up at the top of the 50-meter arc. So after each team really had a good transition goal, all of a sudden it's been kind of, the ball has been harder in there like 12th grade arithmetic.
Yeah, it's just been really tied up, and a lot of people around the footy, hard to get the ball out.
Yeah, it's very hard to extract, just like a tooth. Take my word for it. Ball goes to ground, and again, Shotwell couldn't get to it. Ball gets knocked backwards once again. Baltimore staying with it, and Ohio Valley gets to it. Again, it comes to Shotwell. Did Shotwell shoot well? He didn't. And the ball, I think, may have hit the behind post. In fact, it did. And when that happens, it's a boundary throw-in.
Yeah, and almost a conveniently little gift there for the Baltimore Arizona team, because at least they keep the ball in their offensive 50 and still a chance to score some more points.
Ohio Valley and Arizona keeping the ball in that 50-meter arc. It comes to Wilhelm, and Wilhelm watches that spray off the side of his boot, and again, it's gone out of bounds. And Wilhelm, you know, we saw him at the 2017 International Cup, Donnie, and he had a bunch of scoring shots, especially in situations where the High Nashville, we had a great, a great chance to see him. We saw him spray the ball off and great chances to put the game away. And with big men, it's always important to line up and be accurate.
Yeah, it's not always easy sometimes. It's a long ball drop with some of the taller fellas, so.
It's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll, as Angus Young once sang a long time ago. Shotwell comes and picks that one up for the Rats, sending that one in off the fingertips of the man in Kyle Strensky. And now here comes Baltimore back in the other direction. It's a little pass, and Shotwell picked it up. I didn't see what it was for. Yeah, it will be a free kick. Thank you, sir. That's why your 4 eyes better work than my 4 eyes. As Shane Branscombe from Indianapolis sends that one inside the goal square. Baltimore again trying to get it out.
Another holding the ball.
And another holding the ball call. And once again, Baltimore will have a chance to shake the Etch-a-Sketch and drop something new out of the defensive line.
Yeah, they're just kind of getting stuck right now. Their defense is under so much pressure. It seems like any loose ball seems to go through.
What are they under?
Yeah, so much pressure.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be a free kick here from right in front. Here's Scott Schrader, another guy who's been around the block a long time. He puts that one out to the right, and he's going to go that one through for a behind as Brent Fisher from the Minnesota Freeze comes walking on by. And it will be another point to Ohio Valley. Ohio Valley 8, Baltimore 6 is the score. We're just waiting for confirmation on the scoreboard. Yes, it is. Ohio Valley 8. Baltimore 6. Brian Barish alongside Donnie Hess. Glad to have your company here on Go Live Sportscast, wherever you're watching us around the world. And now they've reversed it to a goal.
Interesting. I honestly, from our vantage point, it sure looked like he pushed it to the right with a little bit of a rushed kick, but obviously either the main judge or the goal judge decided it was a goal.
Well, just like 90% of my marriage, I was wrong. And so a correction on the score. It's the Ohio Valley River Rats 13, Baltimore 6. Ohio Valley 13, Baltimore 6 as we come back in the middle of the ground. And again, it's Henderson, and Henderson with a big slap forward. Wilhelm Queen bowls it, and he just kind of tries to paddle it forward to gain some sort of meters, and that one is knocked to the ground. Over to get it now, and going to pick that one up and running that one backwards is the 25. One of the Quebec boys sending that one forward. Nice mark again by Branscombe over the top. Shane Branscombe from the Indianapolis Giants playing as part of this Ohio Valley conglomerate, which officially merged earlier this season. Ball goes to ground. Shotwell got dumped, no call. And it goes forward. Over to get it now. Mullen trying to stay with it. Or rather, somebody there from Quebec. He'll go to pick that one up. And Shotwell lays himself into the tackle. Henderson tried to go. He dropped the footy. No call. Bradford is in there for Baltimore. He kicks that one up. Tried a whirly bird. Got nothing but fresh air. Shotwell saw his shot deflected. And a big hit in there by Wilhelm. And the ball will go out of bounds. And now the hitting's starting to pick up a little bit more, Donnie.
Again, especially the constant tackle pressure and almost unperceived, the perceived pressure is getting a little bit, right now, it's just almost, it's like they can't breathe.
And I know, it's just like if it were to get humid here in Florida, which it isn't. It's a dry heat if nothing else. Baltimore wanted a call. They didn't get it. Ohio Valley sends that one in. The number 21 sending that one forward does Jack Jacobs. And the ball is down and loose as Lynch has arrived. That's a good thing. Ball comes back in the middle of the ground. And it will be a boundary throw. Well, no, were they saying a boundary throw in? No, umpire Evan Ling says that'll be a free kick, and it will go to the man in Alex Fernandez, who I hear is a aspiring commentator himself. Fernandez arches the back, and that one goes through straighter than a flatulating moth, and it's a goal to the Ohio Valley River Rats combination, the man from the Arizona Hawks. As Ohio Valley 19, Baltimore 6. The Ohio Valley River Rats 19, the Baltimore Dockers 6 here on Go Live Sportscast with Donnie Hess.
Again, the constant pressure leads to another mark and a nice easy goal, and it's right now it's just kind of going all the field is slanted towards the Ohio Valley Arizona team. We're going to have to find a way to get a good tip, or this could be a long game.
All right, back in the middle of the ground again, and I think also part of it, Donnie, is the fact, and I know Des Moines has combined with other teams in the past, the fact that there's a large amount of combinations happening here. I mean, it's 3 different teams combining with Baltimore. We mentioned Quebec and New York. It's just a matter of getting to know each other, just like Derek Carr sang in A King and I.
Yeah, many times it's just communication sometimes, being able to let them know where an open guy is, and if you don't know names, it's a lot harder.
Wilhelm went forward, but the ball has been called back. Free kick for the Dockers, sending that one on, and a nice mark over the top. He felt the footsteps there, and taking the mark was the number 51. And again, one of the Saint players, he'll send that one high and hard into the middle of the ground, and it goes to ground once again. The River Rats trying to get through it, knocked forward again, and now he'll run back in the middle. Long handball in. Here is the 28. I don't know. That's a good question. That's a guy, a man with a plan. He's going to send that one in towards the sticks. It's going to bounce. It's going to stay up for him. And was that kicked home? Yes, it was. Well, if you don't mind, a little flick kick in there. We'll get his number when he turns around there. The number 6 in Scott Schrader. And that's a little bit of veteran magic, a little bit of luck, but it cooperates. And another goal to Ohio Valley. They go to 25. Baltimore 6. It's Ohio Valley 25, Baltimore 6. And Donnie, occasionally it's about skill, but every once in a while the footy gods are on your side.
Sometimes the bounce is perfect, and then the nice jump kick, Jackie Chan, like David Wells from North Melbourne a few years ago against Frio.
You stole that from me. Because that's exactly what it's like. Danny Chan, Jackie Chan. I like that, though. It means you're paying attention.
That's one of my favorite highlights.
Oh. Well, and just like a porta potty, he was Johnny on the spot. Now back in the middle of the ground. Here is Shotwell. That one didn't go over so well, as that one is marked nicely defensively there by the Dockers. Bradford is shouting things out. He comes out to the near side and comes to ground once again. Going to pick that one up. Shotwell, who's been all over the place, and now it's going to be contact off the football is what it is. You can't tackle somebody when he doesn't have the ball, and that's exactly what happened there. And it's a free kick to Shane Branscombe.
Yeah, not always easy sometimes. Sometimes you go into a contest, you think the guy's got it, and it slips through him, and you lay through him.
Curly cue of a ball goes out into the cow paddock, but it's picked up got caught on something there, sends that one in towards the stick, but again, it's picked off. The offensive kick there was taken, I believe, by the 21 and Jack Jacobs, who was very important in that grand final run a year ago. The mark is taken again by Baltimore. Then Baltimore combined with Quebec and New York, all reserve sides. So these are all Division I. Well, Baltimore's Division II, but these are all their extra players who have combined together. And the ball comes out in the middle of the ground. Sending that one far as members of the North Star Blue Ox pass underneath our commentary position.
Happy for the shout out there.
Yeah, they love a shout out. Their jerseys are really well done, and I'm not just saying that because I did them. Big tackle in there across the way, and the umpire wanted holding, or the crowd wanted holding the ball, and there's Derek Shotwell, who right now has really been the prime mover for this Ohio Valley Arizona unit. And it's marked defensively. Bradford for Baltimore sends that one deep and up the side. Did it find the field of play? Yes, it did, and it will be a boundary throw in directly across from Donnie and I.
Put that one up in the air. I thought it was going to bring down rain there for a second.
I mean, there's some clouds ahead, which you can probably see here in the broadcast. They don't look terribly threatening. They're friendly clouds. They're just like bees. Bees are friendly. I like bees.
Until they sting you.
Well, they generally don't. They're like floating pandas. Yeah. Meanwhile, mark again by that number 35. I want to find out who that is because he's taking a bunch of marks in the middle of the ground. He'll come out to the near side, marked over the top, and the 29 in there, whose name we do have, that's Aaron Wolf. Wolf sends that one forward, and it's picked off. And again, well, it wasn't Jacobs, but in fact it was the 28 there, and John Mcpike. Mcpike sends that one forward. Baltimore trying to get through a little stabby kick forward. And then, wow, very lucky. James Horseman was almost taken down with the without the football. Into the middle of the ground, and he was held off the play there. That's going to be a free kick, I believe. In fact, it is, and it will go the way of the River Rats. Again, the score, Ohio Valley 25, Baltimore 6.
Again, Ohio Valley just continuing the pressure, and then one little foray forward, but it just comes right back.
And it slowly falls apart, just like the Ottoman Empire. That one is stabbed home. And umpire Andrew Tyson says that one was touched, and it is through for a behind and a little bit of a let-off for Baltimore. So point to Ohio Valley. They go to 26, Baltimore 6. The River Rats, 4 goals, 2 behinds. That's 26 points. Baltimore, 1 straight goal 6. Brian Barish alongside Donnie Hess. We have the New York Magpies now walking underneath. Hello, Drea. Hello, Grace. New York won their first game earlier over the Seattle Grizzlies. Not over the Seattle Grizzlies, over Portland.
Yep.
As they go to 1-0, they try to make it into the semifinals, which we'll have for you tomorrow here on Go Live Sportscast. Coverage beginning at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. And if you're watching back in Australia, that's an 11 p.m. Sunday night start time back in Melbourne. And there's like literally 7 different time zones in Australia, so you'll have to figure that one out on your own. But here is Shane Branscombe, a favorite of Tom Ellis in the Revolution program. He's told to play on. He plays on. He centers the ball. Will he get an opportunity? No. Ball goes to ground, and Strensky trying to pull apart his man there like some barbecued pork. Now I'm hungry. And a little handball across. 31 finds 37. Baltimore still marooned in their own territory, trying to get that one out. Nice mark. And reaching up into the apple tree there was the 13 who sends that one in. I believe that was Derek Zenk. And that one goes through, still in the goal square, and that one will be nurdled over the line and a behind. Another point for Ohio Valley. The Ohio Valley River Rats 27, Baltimore 6.
And again, the constant pressure, Ohio Valley. Baltimore tries to kick it out, goes right to it, intercept mark, and right back into the 50.
And what you can't really see here on the shot here, Donnie, but what we can see here is that's forcing Baltimore to play up. They've got 15 of their 16 guys playing on their side of the field. Just the one man there, Jordan Raddick, who is normally the full forward, and he's at the center circle. So what's happening here is that's really, really forcing Baltimore to come out of their structure as Tyler Sassy takes the mark. He's 35 meters directly in front.
And another one is try to kick out, turnover, finds the guy about 35 out.
And that one is on the way. That one is across the face and stays in play. He tries to soccer that one on. Goes to get it, long handball across. Picked up again by Shotwell. Little chip in over the top. Nice mark over the top there by the 37. And he'll look to play it quickly. Waning minutes, first half of this 2 by 20 minute half game here in Division 4. The Ohio Valley River Rats leading 27-6. Ball up on the far side. Over to get it is Alex Rundle. Rundle goes into the middle. And here's a bounce. It gets away. Marshall. Little handball, finds a teammate there in Branscombe. Branscombe from 60 meters out. There's Wilhelm, but Jason didn't need to help it. That will get there on its own. Shane Branscombe kicked that one from somewhere out near Siesta Key, and it dribbles home for a goal on the Cooper's scoreboard. It's the Ohio Valley River Rats 33, Baltimore Dockers 6, And Donnie, well, that's just leaving the man open. And, you know, you have to get somebody into the ground there. And I think Wilhelm, his presence helped create the goal.
Plus, in the fact is he's also is really good using his body to defend, keep the defender from getting a chance to touch it before it found its way between the big sticks.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fact that it rolls, you got to get a really true bounce on this amazing surface that we have here at the Premier Sports Campus here in Lakewood Ranch, Florida. It's like a putting green. That's basically what it is. And yeah, you got it to roll into the pin there.
Yeah, very soft field. We played earlier this morning, and bounces were nearly impossible.
Now, you guys were lucky because we had your game. I did your game at 9 o'clock, and you guys were pretty lucky as the ball goes outside, and the mark's going to be taken there by Alex Fernandez, who very quickly is going to dump that one off to Liam Sawyer, and Liam Sawyer is going to add to the conundrum for Baltimore as Ohio Valley gets 6 more points. Ohio Valley 39, Baltimore 6. That's on the Cooper scoreboard. I was going to say, you guys got really lucky because the temperature at 9 o'clock was about probably about 69, 70 degrees. By noon, like right about now, it's going to be its hottest. It's going to be about 89 or 90.
Yeah, when we did see the schedule, we thought us here, we were really, really happy that we were going to get an early game to kind of save our energy, because we know we have our second game at 2 o'clock, and we tend to be a team that our first game is really good, and our second game we tend to fall off a little bit. So I was really, really happy for our guys to get a nice early game and got the momentum behind us, and I was really, really happy with how we played. Now we got to back it up with that second game. We've always had a problem, no matter how many years we've come, is that second game has always been one of our most difficult. So.
Halftime at the football. The score, the Ohio Valley Riverats 39, the Baltimore Dockers 6. We're going to come right back here on Go Live Sportscast. You're watching the 2019 USAFL National Championships. here at the Premier Sports Campus in Lakewood Ranch, Florida. The 2019 USAFL National Championships roll on. This Division IV match entering the second half between the Ohio Valley River Rats and the Baltimore Dockers. The Rats lead 39-6 as we start this second half. Brian Barish alongside Donnie Hess. Donnie, Baltimore is going to have a little bit of a breeze with them. What do they need to do?
The biggest thing is just keep ball possession. Their biggest issue is got stuck back in their own defensive end.
All right, out of the middle now comes the number 16 for Baltimore. Sending that one on is the 24, which is Rundle. Rundle will send that one in. A little cheeky little back heel by Fernandez. And then that one is sent up high there by the number 6, sending that one forward, but it's marked and back in the other direction. Kick that one up the left side there does Rundle once again. And the ball stays in play, but barely. That one goes up high. We have a whistle. And they said it was out of bounds. Yep.
I think it just went out as he went for the drop on his punt.
We have a number of, not in this particular game, but we have a number of AFL umpires who are roaming around helping out. Of course, we have Hayden Gavine, who's in his second full season. We have Chris Donlin and Ray Chamberlain, who are just over the 300 game mark. And of course, Shane McInerney, who just achieved the 500 game mark. He is the just passed Hayden Kennedy for the most games umpired, as Henderson knocked that one down, pops into the middle of the ground now, and that one is slapped forward by Wilhelm, who went A over T, and there is Shotwell, who puts that one on through for a behind, and another point for Ohio Valley. Ohio Valley 40, Baltimore 6, the lead back to 34 points, and well, more just like that first half there so far, Don.
Just like a rerun. Ball comes back in, Baltimore tries to clear it, finds Mark, and comes right back in, and finds a way to put another point on the board.
Or as Herman's Hermits used to say, second verse, same as the first. Now out the far side, and that will just stay in play, and then go out of bounds. As we mentioned, this is actually, I think this is the last game of the first round, this game in Pool A. There are 8 teams here in Division IV. These teams will play a second game in the afternoon session. And I'll be back at 3 o'clock for another game. Actually, Baltimore as well will be playing. And as the ball is locked in once again on that far side. And of course, they'll play one game Sunday morning, and whoever has the best record from the 2 pools will go directly to the Division IV Grand Final tomorrow afternoon. One sent in Wilhelm, went up with one paw, and trying to play soccer again was Strensky, and Baltimore will be happy to concede a rush behind here. Another point for the River Rats. Ohio Valley 41, Baltimore 6.
Ohio Valley just keeps putting it on, and Baltimore just can't seem to get it out of their own 50.
And they have to link up just a little bit better, and they're going to get, here it is again, as that one is sent back in off of a pickoff, and that one has gone through, or that one's gone out of bounds. It'll be a boundary throw, and as it just did barely find the field of play. Ball comes spinning back in. Ball gets knocked down. And, well, he got shoved and got pushed backwards. And the umpire crosses his arms, and we'll have a ball up.
Good old-fashioned rugby scrum there.
Yeah, a little. I mean, with the World Cup going on right now, it's nice that they were paying homage to that. As the ball comes out of the pack, and that is a goal. I didn't see who got to it. I think they're congratulating Kyle Strensky, and that is through for another goal for Ohio Valley, and they roll another 6. Ohio Valley 47, Baltimore 6.
Great little snap off a ruck contest. Brings it down, puts it on the boot, puts it between the big sticks.
Ohio Valley 7 goals, 5 behinds, 47 points. Baltimore 1 straight 6. And Don, you know, a year ago they were in the grand final of Division III. That always seems like, and I know you guys have bounced back and forth between Division III, Division IV. It seems like no matter where they are, they're always very competitive.
Oh yeah, and they've got so much experience, and so many guys have played so many games that they're never out of any games.
They don't have a whole lot of newer guys. It just seems like it's these older players, these guys who've been around, you know, 10, 15 years, and they always seem to contribute for them no matter how long time marches on. Ball goes to ground. Again, that was Strensky going after the football.
Seems like Father Time doesn't like to visit them very often.
No, not often. He likes to go to he likes to go to. I'm trying to think of something and it's not coming. Sometimes the brain, sun-baked brain after 4 games, sometimes the metaphors are a little bit slower to come than others.
Yeah.
But that's okay. As the ball comes into the middle of the ground, and it's Strensky, or rather that's Branscombe, who finds Shotwell, and Shotwell dribbles that one in. Here is Branscombe in front, or check that, that was Schrader, and it's another goal to Ohio Valley, and they add their 8th of the game. 8-5, 53 to 1 straight 6. The score, it's the Ohio Valley 53, Baltimore 6. And again, just drawing them up defensively, that leaves the forward open, and that leads to 6 points.
Yeah, just very good job of pushing it towards the goal and a full forward, knowing where the big sticks are and finding a way to put it between them.
Back into the middle of the ground once again, and that's the thing. Schrader has been around a long time. He's been through that Division III final run that they made a few years ago. They lost to Portland in Division III final in 2015. Of course, they lost to Philadelphia last year in a game where they had the lead in the 3rd quarter, and Philly just blanked them in the second, or in the first half, and Philly blanked them in the second. Here they come again, but Scott Bradford, who took that one almost like he was playing in the slips at the MCG as it came off the batsman's a fine edge there. That's a cricket reference, by the way.
Yeah,
as
I
it
watch the occasional cricket
Oh, good.
game.
I'm glad I'm not the only one. Picked off by Sassy. Sassy sends that one in. The wind and the physics are going to ting that one behind the stick for 1 point. It is Ohio Valley 54, Baltimore 6. That's the score. Brian Barish alongside Donnie Hatz. A little bit of a breeze right now. We were talking about the heat, but it is wreaking havoc on the flight of the ball.
Yeah, and sadly, it's not helping Baltimore much. It's happening to go towards the Ohio Valley goals, which is making their kickouts, which have already been difficult, even worse.
Out to the far side now, goes up to get it. Ball bounces away. That's not Shotwell, but the guy on the other side wearing number 1, sending that one in, sends that one in towards the sticks, but it's picked off by Scotty Bradford. Bradford goes out the left side, and it's marked.
And again, comes down the side, and he just has no options. Everybody can't find a space to get open.
Centering that one in the middle of the ground, off the hands of Henderson. Hendo knocked it down. Strensky couldn't get to it. Spinorama there, the 29 in DiGennario. DiGennario sets sail for the big sticks, but he's not terribly accurate, and that's through for another point. Ohio Valley moves their score on to 55. Baltimore 6. Ohio Valley 55, Baltimore 6. 8-7 for the River Rats.
You got to feel just so bad for these Baltimore defenders because they just keep getting it coming back over and over again.
And again, their structure is completely out of whack because once again, they have 15 players on their defensive side of the ball, but there's really not a whole lot they can do. They're not getting that. They're not getting free. That one will go into the middle there. Going to pick that one up was Fernandez. Again, a number of players on this River Rats side from the Arizona Hawks, and Eric Saucedo Fernandez is one of them. And a little chip kick in the middle, and he finds his teammate in Henderson.
Nice unselfish play there. Had a chance where it got a shot on goal, but sees a guy a little bit closer. Maybe a little bit of an angle, but still closer.
They say Ruckman can't kick. Let's see if Hendo can reverse that as he steps in, and the kick starts left, it stays left, and the umpire taps himself saying, I'm good enough, I'm strong enough, and gosh darn it, people like me, and then points out one finger for a behind. Ohio Valley 56, Baltimore 6. The lead is an even 50 points. Out to the far side now. It's picked off. Sends that one in. It's long, it's deep, it's straight, it's there.
And finally, they put one between the big sticks after 2 or 3 possessions and unable to find the center sticks.
Ohio Valley 62, skidoo. Baltimore 6. It's 62-6, Ohio Valley the lead. 9 goals, 8 behinds for the River Rats. They're getting their opportunities, and I think, if they're the Rats, 9-8 is pretty good, but you would like to see that number be a little bit higher.
Yeah, especially because you don't know if you come up against a better team. You can't afford to miss those goals late. And sometimes 2 or 3 points can cost you.
Correct, and especially in this game where the first tiebreaker is point differential or percentage as it is here, because it's points for divided by points against. Baltimore finally works the ball to the top of the 50, but it fizzles out just like a dying sparkler, and it comes out to the near side as, again, Stassi was pinballed around. And going back in there again was the number 3 for Baltimore, and we'll have a ball up.
Again, Baltimore tries to push it up and is repelled right back by Ohio Valley and back on their forward side of the field.
Umpire will toss the ball to the heavens. Gravity takes effect. Henderson again able to win the ball down. Ball squirts free. Long handball back from Mcpike, but it's to Bradford, the turnover there, sending that one in, and that is 16 who takes the mark. He'll send that one up, and it's going to be picked off, and here come the Rats. In flight was DiGennario, who sent that one on, picked up there by Horseman. Horseman sends that one across, but not that far, and then sending back the other way. Goes back out. That one is paddled back by Ohio Valley. Little handball drill. Here again is Branscombe. Branscombe, that ball's going to carry, but again, Bradford. And I'll tell you what, Donnie, Scott Bradford has been really busy in the back line, but when he's been called upon, he's been pretty reliable.
Yeah, he's been having good hands and been able to get in front of the full forwards and get a few intercept marks.
And Ohio Valley, 9 goals, 8 behind, 62 points, leads Baltimore 1 straight 6. Brian Barish alongside Donnie Hess here at the Premier Sports Campus here in Lakewood Ranch, Florida, Sarasota and Bradenton County, as that one is sent back by Derek Zenk. And the mark almost taken by Wilhelm, but he'll get it. It's a long way to the bottom, but he got to it, and he ski jumped, a sideways ski jump ball. It's off the hands of Schrader, who was trying to make something out of it, but the ball goes off of his hands and out of bounds for a boundary throw-in.
Actually, I think it was out on the full.
That's what I said. Yeah, it wasn't, but that's okay. Ball comes back into play, and getting overrun there was the number 3, and a DiGennario, or check that was Mcpike who's in there. Matty Byrne, number 64, venerable player, long been around first the Baltimore Washington Eagles and now the Baltimore Dockers, a long time, and still looks like a spring chicken, still plays like one too. Ball comes back down, a little shovel handball up over the top, and that one is kicked away, almost, no, it's dropped, soccered off the ground in towards the sticks, and it's going to be marked by Wilhelm. That's something that we don't see, or rather that may have been Henderson. No, it is Pony, and Pony's going to go around the mark. Why not show off? There's a lot of air on that one, and I guess when you're up by 56 points, now 57, you can afford to show off like that.
You can afford to take it off, but you got to admit the kick into him was awesome. It was almost looked like a corner kick in soccer. Just a left-handed boot, and it hooks, and Pony finds a way to grab it.
You don't see that much. You don't see that very happen like at the higher levels of football. You see it here. So, well, we're questioning now whether or not that was a behind. So, in fact, I don't think there was any score there because the kick was taken out, but I think we might have one in a moment as that one's coming in. So the score is still 62-6. Ball gets knocked down up high and juggled and dropped there by Solansky. Solansky goes after the football again, chasing that little red Susie Q, as Gorilla says. And well, we'll have another ball up.
At least in this half, Baltimore has seemed to have found a way to keep Ohio Valley from constantly putting pressure on the scoreboard, but they still can't seem to find their way past midfield. Well,
it's slowly, and here once again, the buck stops there as that one is chipped in over the top. Handballs it over. Again, a little handball back, and we mentioned Baltimore combined with players from Quebec and New York. Of course, I just saw Sean Holmesby, who's supposed to be in this game. I just saw him trundle by ever so slowly, so I don't think he's in there at the moment. As ball is on that far side. Remember, we have more women's action, Division I play coming up at the top of the hour. Peter Holden will be back with you for 2 more women's games. I'll be back here at 3 o'clock when Baltimore plays their second game of the pool stage here in Division IV. And coming out of that one, and then all of a sudden they put a halt to it. I didn't see what the call was on, but the number 30 there who had it. That one is sent long and strong. Ball goes to ground, picked up just off the side of the boot, and 35 will come back the other way for the Dockers. Ohio Valley in control here. They lead 62-6. 9 goals, 8 for Ohio Valley, 1 straight 6 for Baltimore. That goal came very early. In fact, correct me if I'm wrong, that may have been the first score of the game.
I believe you are correct.
And it's been 62 unanswered points. That was a long time ago. I can't remember that far back. I don't even remember what I had for dinner last night.
Not always easy to remember. A lot of sun.
Yeah. Sent that one back in once again, and that will drop down. That one is a little handball. It gives that one on. The kick from Liam Sawyer already has one, and now he has 2. 10th goal of the game for the River Rats. They go to 68. Baltimore 6. Ohio Valley 68, Baltimore 6. 10 goals, 8 now. And, I mean, it's pretty clear that one team is outclassing the other at this point, Donnie.
Definitely. And at this point, if Ohio Valley's really smart, just continue to put it on so that in case if for any reason they drop one later, they have a little bit of an advantage in the point differential.
Yeah, and that's going to come into play should they lose. And, of course, if they win all 3 of their matches. As the ball comes back into play. Long handball out. Long kick out, rather. That one is knocked down. And kept in play. Here they come once again as they come rolling inside 50. 2-on-1 contest. Ohio Valley trying to get something out there. Shotwell out the back. Gets away. He's going to line up the sticks. Stunning. It was another Wilbur post. Hello, I'm Mr. Ed. And a horse is a horse, of course, of course.
It's been a while since I heard anything about that.
Yeah, there you go. 69. Nice. 69 for Ohio Valley, 6 for Baltimore. 69 plays 6.
Again, a lot of difficulty for Baltimore kicking out. It seems like they see a target but just put too much air on it and allows Ohio Valley to spoil over the line.
It's like a mirage. It disappears in the hot Lakewood Ranch, Florida sun as the ball comes to ground. Again on the Cooper scoreboard, Ohio Valley 10-9-69, Baltimore 1 straight 6. And we'll have a ball up. 30 meters out. Punched forward, slowing that one up again is Sawyer. Wow, that was very close, but the goal umpire said there was absolutely no post involved. Goal number 11 for the River Rats. They go on to 11 goals, 9. That's 75 to Baltimore 1 straight 6. Ohio Valley 75, Baltimore 6.
Ball just seemed to skim in by the sheet of like a sheet of paper, about that much.
A bee's diaphragm is what Rex Hunt used to say. I don't know if that's clean or not, but you know I think it is, or at least by their thorax.
It's definitely small.
Yes, wasn't very much. As the ball will come back in the middle of the ground, cannot be much time left. And I think for Baltimore, they are looking forward to the final siren. And that one is knocked forward by Matty Burns, still showing a bit of youth. Jordan Raddick is in there as well. And the ball gets skittered out on the far side. And the Portland Sockeyes getting ready for their game. That's the game that you'll be doing up next, Donnie, alongside Peter Holden. That's what I was looking for. I was looking to see what the game was that was coming up. It's the Portland Sockeyes against the Minnesota Freeze, who had the bye this morning. Baltimore trying to get it out of the back, trying to keep things from getting out of hand here. And well, not that it already isn't. And once again, they're having trouble getting in. The ball has gone out of bounds. And once again, Donnie, they just aren't finding their options. And Ohio Valley is just swooping in there gleefully to just stay with the football.
You can just tell their legs are starting to go. So much pressure and the heat. Just a deadly combination for trying to defend in footy.
And it is getting hotter, even though the wind is picking up. Ball goes over the top there. It's picked up by the 9 there. And Scott Klink, I know nothing. And, well, that was Schultz maybe. And that's not our field, I believe, as the mark was taken in there. Shotwell turns for goal. Is this goal number 12? Nope, it's behind. And another point. 11-10-76 for the Ohio Valley River Rats and the Arizona Hawks combination. Baltimore 1 straight 6. It's 76-6. And there's a pretty big percentage boost that will come from this game.
Definitely gives them a little bit of a buffer going into their second and third games.
Well, we'll see how they do in the second game. We'll have that for you right here on Field 2, here on Go Live Sportscast, as they play the North Carolina Tigers. Not sure how they did yet in their game, but that one is off the side of the boot and has gone out of bounds on the full as Millie Bruce signals that one. She plays for the San Francisco Iron Maidens, and they will play their first game. We'll see that a little bit later on as they play the Denver Lady Bulldogs, who are after that loss, they are in consequence of possibly being eliminated, and that is full time at the football. All one-way traffic here, but the Ohio Valley River Rats get the full points. The score, the Ohio Valley River Rats, 11 goals, 10 points, 10 behind, 76 points. The Baltimore Dockers, 1 straight 6. Donnie, some good, decent performances. Scott Bradford stood up for Baltimore, but Ohio Valley, it really was Derek Shotwell, who was all over the place. Henderson did really well in the midfield, and Wilhelm in front as well.
Definitely, just one-way traffic. It seemed like after that first goal that Ohio Valley just kept pounding and find themselves on top on the scoreboard.
Well, that'll do it for this one. We have another game coming up right after this, the Women's Division I match between the Portland Sockeyes and the Minnesota Freeze. Donnie, you're going to stick around. Thanks for calling with me, mate. It was a lot of fun. Probably a lot of fun for you. I hope you finally got to call a match, which was good.
It was definitely fun, and especially being a Division IV coach, potentially seeing a potential matchup in the final. If we get that far, it'd be kind of nice.
Scouting. You were scouting. We'll be right back with the next game. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the 2019 USAFL National Championships here on Go Live Sportscast.